What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shook Daddy from Shook Earth Media, and today we're talking about this comic right here, Firepower. This is probably my favorite ongoing comic series right now. As you guys know, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan and therefore a huge Robert Kirkman fan. I like Invincible and all of his other stuff that I've read as well. So I was very pleased to see that he's got another ongoing comic series. Now this one had an interesting beginning because before issue number 1, there was actually a graphic novel released, and it gave the origin story of this fella right here. So Firepower is a kung fu kind of comic. Every comic that Robert Kirkman seems to do tackles a different genre, and it does it in his own way, and this is no exception. This is like a kung fu kind of series. The graphic novel told the story of Owen Johnson, this guy right here, going up to a mountain to train and to learn the ways of martial arts even more. He was an expert to begin with, but he wants to hone his skills. While he was there, he found out that he had the ability to throw fireballs, which the master at the training facility had been trying to learn for a long time. So he has special abilities, and of course it all comes to a climax when the temple is invaded by enemies and he fights them off with his incredible firepower. Now, I wanted the story, when I got to this number 1 here, I was like, I want to see from that moment. I want to keep going with that story because it was so engaging, so much fun. And instead we got a time jump here, and it's fast forward several years, and he has returned home. He is now married with children, and it wasn't quite what I was expecting, and I actually end up liking it better though. So I like the fact that this is more of a family-oriented book, and Robert Kirkman's typical edginess isn't so much in this book. It's really a lot more lighthearted and fun, and I really appreciate that. And there's a lot of positivity there while still maintaining a lot of drama. One thing I really love about these books is that there's several pages where the images tell the story. There's no dialogue to speak of, and you have beautiful coloration. The art is just fantastic, and just letting the pictures tell the story. You could tell that Robert Kirkman has learned from his time in Hollywood screenwriting that you don't need dialogue balloons all over the place to tell the story the right way. Sometimes when you just show the pictures, it is so much more powerful. So that's the strength of the medium, is the art. So why not let the art take the forefront? I really love that about this series. So of course, after the time jump, things are a lot different. The guy that trained Owen is now on the other side, and he seemingly became a traitor, but actually he's still the good guy, and the traitors are the guys that are now in charge of the temple. Yeah, and we have some great fight scenes and some fantastic art and great characters. We can really see with this story that he's telling a long-form story here in many parts, not just the graphic novel at the beginning, but even in each chapter, you can tell he's setting up for things down the line. And rereading the Walking Dead comics as they come out in deluxe form, which means they're in color now, rereading them, you can see how breakneck the pacing was there. And this is a little different because he seems a lot more comfortable and doesn't feel like the comic's going to end at any point soon. So it just keeps going at a steady pace, and things are revealed slowly over time, and there's a lot of strengths to that type of storytelling. It feels a lot more epic, and I feel very confident that there's going to be payoffs for everything that we see. So it's refreshing to see that from Robert Kirkman, that he's telling a more long-form story. And when we hit issue 12, there is this big climactic epic conclusion, and the conclusion to that The great battle scenes, amazing combat stuff, and then at the end we get a little twist that I feel like is going to be reversed yet again. There's a lot of going against expectations here, but in a way that makes it more interesting, not less. So often these days we see, oh, we're trying to subvert your expectations, and we end up doing either the most obvious thing or something that really doesn't push the story forward in any meaningful way or doesn't have any meaning to it. But this explores some deeper themes here. So they're fighting over these doors that are supposedly hiding dragons. Kind of felt like a little Game of Thronesy there, but they get inside and find out that the dragons aren't there. And now they think that the dragons were a lie. I speculate that the dragons aren't a lie and that they exist somewhere, and we'll see them at some point in the future. But we'll just have to, that remains to be seen. But all the characters are really fun. I like his kids, and now one of his kids has his same power as well. And he has an ex-girlfriend that he thought was dead, and then she comes back into his life. And there's just a lot of really interesting characters, and again, just telling the story with pictures instead of dialogue. Of course, there is still dialogue, and it's fun dialogue, typical Robert Kirkman stuff, where we have a lot of funny quips, and we have characters enjoying each other's company, and every character seems very genuine, and I'm like really looking forward to reading more of this book. So in general, guys, I really like this comic. Some great action. It's lighthearted fun. I mean, one of my favorite parts is when the mentor character, you think he is killed, right? But then he's not killed because, again, this is more of a lighthearted take on the storytelling than what we usually get from Robert Kirkman, which is a lot of brutality. And it feels like he wanted to do something nice for the kids, you know? And it turns out that the mentor has trained himself to be able to move his heart muscles, so he gets stabbed in the heart, but he can move the heart muscles, and it's funny, and it's hilarious, and it's not terribly realistic, but it doesn't have to be. And honestly, that's the preferred outcome for me, is that character is still around, because he's very funny. I mean, the anachronism of him where he's wearing Nike shoes, he's listening to like an iPod, and the fact that they're in this temple training with martial arts, a lot of ancient stuff, but he still has the modern day amenities. It's humorous. I like the fact it takes place in modern day. I like that our main character is an outsider in that world, and he has since renounced the world, and then it comes back to him, and there's a lot of overarching things going on, and things are going to be revealed later on, so I'm very excited to see where this comic goes from here. And I think I will shift next week to reviewing these month to month, similar to how we've been reviewing. We reviewed Alien, we reviewed Life is Strange. I feel like we're going to just do that with Firepower. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. But I would flip through all the books, but there's just way too many at this point. We're at, like 15 now? So I can't... That would be like a 40-minute video that nobody would watch. So we're just going to stick with this. And yeah, I'm a big fan of this comic. Highly recommend it if you want to pick up the trade paperbacks or see it on Comixology if you're cool with doing digital. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And it's definitely my favorite ongoing comic right now. So that's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Smash subscribe and like if you like this video and want to see more stuff from me. I really appreciate it. Every like means that more people see my video, which helps me out, and I really appreciate it. But anyways, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.